Hello, 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 everybody. I hope you all can hear and see me. We already have 12 viewers, so that's the exact same amount of the maximum of last time. So let's see if we can beat this time. So we only need one more. And yeah, hey Skylar. All good, says Gertchen. That's nice. Can you tell me if you already hear some music? Because I'm trying again to add some background music, and I'm hearing it currently, but I think you shouldn't right now. I think you will always only gonna to hear it if I share my screen. So just let me know if you hear anything yet. And then we will give this a try. No music yet. Hello, Tim. Yeah, we had 13 people. That's a new record. Nice. Okay, no music yet. So let me share my screen. Select window screen. Screen number 1. No. Screen number 2. Yes. Disable notifications. Okay. All right, so I think you're currently seeing my browser. Let me know if you hear any music yet. Normally, when I start sharing my screen, you should also hear the music. I'm also going to switch to this tab. Maybe this changes anything. That's still nothing. Okay, that's strange. So it seems like I'm the only one hearing music. So sorry, guys. I have to check that again. I don't know why we don't see it now. 40 people here. Hello, everybody. Nice to have you here around. For those who are new, we're building here a side project called Refactoring PHP. This is here the website now. I don't have any data here. That's why you don't see anything. So let me just show you what we have so far. And let's see some data. Here we go. So this will be a platform where people can share code snippets. Here are the snippets, and then you can see the snippets. And if you click one of them, you're going to see possible currently called solutions. So this means someone commits here the snippet and asks the community, okay, is there any other way to write this code? Is there any way to refactor this code, make it better, or make it simpler, make it better maintainable? So as always, there are different kinds of refactoring methodology. So I think it's a good idea if we have this kind of platform and share how other people would write the same code. So that's the goal of this platform here. Okay, so what we're going to do today. I have here my list of the things that we already did. So we can see stored examples, we can see solutions, an authenticated user can submit code, an authenticated user can submit a solution to a code example. We have auth links. We made sure that our LiveWire components have some fields also in the plate file. Yeah, we're testing if the LiveWire scripts and styles are here. A guest cannot see code snippet submit, so a guest cannot submit any solutions or any code. What else? Okay, not interesting. Yeah, last time we added some macros for some custom LiveWire assertions that we did, and we refreshed the list so that when you enter a new code snippet, you immediately see it. Okay, so that's what we have so far. And yeah, so the next to-dos, there are a few things that I want to refactor. So I think we're going to take a look at a few things that we already did. Then we might think about how we can highlight the code. So of course we need some code highlighting for the snippet so it looks good. Then I thought today maybe we're going to add some kind of stars or votes so that people can vote the different solutions and see what they like the most. I think that would be interesting. And then probably the next time we'll think about code formatting. I've been twittering about this because I didn't find a good solution yet how I can format the PHP code example. So the right indentation, remove spaces, and like you would do with PHP CS fixer and all those things. But yeah, it seems it's not that easy to run this from within the code without executing shell comments. I haven't found a good solution yet. So I'll try to do some more research here, and maybe we can do this in the next video, as well as I think also in the next video we're going to start designing the thing, because yeah, so far design is good, pretty good, but maybe we can improve it a little bit, maybe a little bit less modern, maybe, yeah, and maybe too much color, so maybe just everything black, yeah, something like this. Okay. Let me see. We have some comments. We don't see PHP Storm. Well, it's cut off. Okay, let me check this. Okay, that's interesting. I see it here full screen, but of course, in the view, what you see, you don't see it. Okay, that's interesting. Let's exit full screen. Okay, it seems this window is broken somehow. Okay, let's try to put it on another one. Okay, this is also not working. Let me try to stop sharing my screen. Remove it. Thanks for mentioning, by the way. And let's share this again. But I also see here currently that my preview of the screen that I want to show looks strange. Okay, what's happening here? Let's try again. Okay. Why is this broken? So if I go to my browser, it works. But if I go to PHP Storm, okay, let me try to put this here. Okay, there's something completely wrong. I see PHP Storm now in full screen, but you only see a portion of it. Let me try a few things here. So this screen is working. Okay, the moment I switch between the screens, we have this problem here. Okay, that's the ugly presentation mode. Let's exit it again. Okay, let me try something differently. What can I do? I'm going to stop the screen. Let me share it again. Yeah, like Adrian said, I'm now using an M1 and a lot of problems are solved, but another one just came up. Okay, no, this is also not working. Okay, so what I can do is I think I can share just the application. Yeah. Okay, but what happens now if I try to show you something in the browser? Yeah, of course, this is not working. Okay, yeah, that's not so good. Let's give it another try. So the only thing different now is that I'm using Firefox now this time for StreamYard. Yeah, my last stream was also already on the M1, so that's why I didn't mention the fan going crazy. Okay, this looks better now, right? Nope, not really. Now we have it differently. Yeah, okay. I think it must be about Firefox. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to try it with a different browser. So what this means, I have to go out of StreamYard for a second. And I'm not sure what you will see. So last time we also had an issue like that. I think you will see just my default background in the meantime, but the stream should still go. So let's try this out. So I'm right back. Now let's see about the screen. We want this one here. Okay, this looks much better now. Okay, so one lesson learned already. Don't give Firefox a chance. It seems it's just not working with Firefox. So this means we can go back here in the full screen. Okay, and we can finally start working on some of our to-dos here. Okay, yeah, it seems that it's better now. Perfect. So again, let me know if there's anything you're seeing that's not working, and I try to look more into the comments. Oh, currently we have 15 viewers, so that's a new high record. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, so one thing that I wanted to change is, maybe you've seen it in the last two streams, I was always confused about the naming of some of those files. So where do we start? Let's go to our LiveWire components. So for example, we have here code snippets and code snippet solution, and we have the same thing for a lot of files. So if I look for code snippets, let me just make this bigger. You can see I find a lot of different files, and I was always confused. Okay, which one is this? Is this the blade file? Is this the LiveWire file? What is this again? So I decided to change this a little bit. So I think let's keep this with code snippet. That's the code snippet. And the other thing is just the solution. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. So if I'm changing this to solution, I think it's much better. Okay, where do we start? First, we're going to start by checking if all of our tests are passing. And this looks good, right? Okay, so let's start with our LiveWire components. So we have learned, I think in one of the first streams, that there is a, what's it called? LiveWire move, I think. LiveWire components, yes, I think that's what we need. So we want to move code snippet code snippet solutions to just solutions. And yeah, let me just think about it with code snippets. And those are the LiveWire components which we use to show the code snippet and show the solutions, as well as showing the list of the given as the submit functionality. So I think I just go with solutions. Let's see if this works. Okay. Let's see about our tests. Adrian says there's also a shortcut, LiveWire. LiveWire MV. Okay, that's good to know for the next time. Thanks for that. Okay, and we already have some failing tests. Let's see about that. Okay, so yeah, it didn't change this one here. Okay, well, so this means, yeah, the class changed. So let's change this to solutions. Maybe what we also can do is we can already try to replace this. Whoop. Secret pin. Code. Solution. Yeah, so this is an example where I think PHP Storm is not able to help us here. So yeah, so that's an import statement. That's where we're checking it again. And that's just some cache directories. Yeah, so I'm not interested in this. I'm just checking the comments. LiveWire just moves and rename the class and plate file, but not the usage. Yeah, so that's what we've just seen. So we have to do this ourselves, but it seems we just have. Yeah, we have in our tests, and here a few times in our PHP unit cache. Yeah, I don't care replacing it there, so I think I can just go with this. And we just want it to be solutions. Okay, let me just check again if we're not messing everything up. Yeah, we don't care about the cache. The migration, yeah, we're going to change this. Yeah, let's just give it a try. Yeah, let's replace it. Let's run this test again. Okay, it seems. Okay, did I just misspelled it while replacing it? Oh, no way. Did I just? Yeah, I think I just did. Solutions is what I want to do. Okay, let's test it out. Okay, of course, we also have to make sure that our migration file is correct now. So let's do database migration. Where do we have it? Code snippet solutions. So we want this just to be solution. It's a code snippet, that's the content. And then, yeah, okay, I misspelled it everywhere. And I also want to change the migration file. By the way, anyone seen the tennis match with Dominic Thiem today? Not sure if any one of you is into tennis. Man, this was really crazy. This was really a crazy match. Create solutions table. Here we go. Okay, I already know that I also have to change the model. Add model. So that's where we can use the refactoring storm. So everywhere we have used this will now be changed correctly. All right, let's see again about our tests here. But we still have a few failing. Okay, a lot of them. Class not matching file name, class create solutions table not found. Okay, so we have already changed this. Let me just check again. Create solutions table. Yeah. So, oh my God, how many times can I spell this wrong? Okay, much better. Only 6 failing now. Now let's go through them. Response status code 500 is not as successful. Okay. This means let's see if one of those other tests can help us before we can check the 500. Unable to find component. Yeah. So where have we used this component? Code snippet solution. Here we go. So let's just open up our files here. So we're going to use the solutions on our code snippet page. So this means this now is also called solutions. Yeah, so it would be really cool if the move would also change also the usage. Not sure if this is possible with LiveFire, but this of course would help a lot. Okay, let's see what else do we have to fix. Okay, no such table. Let's check out this test here. Yeah, so here we have to change table. I think we could also use the model, right? And is there also something get name? Do you guys know? I think there's also a method where we can get the name of the table. Let me see if you guys know it first before I'm going to Google it. Okay, no reply yet, so maybe people are Googling themselves. So I can let them work for me, maybe. Let me just go to my model here. Is there something with name? Get connection name. The current connection name. I'm not sure, maybe. Yeah, it's not static, yeah. Okay, so I need to have the model first. Okay. I guess there are a lot of use cases. Of course, it would be much better if I can just use a static method for that. So maybe we need to do a pull request. Yeah, we haven't seen anything like that in our base model, so I think yeah. Yeah, probably something like that. Okay, but it seems we cannot use this. So this means I'm going for solutions here, and let's rerun this test. Test class not matching file name is deprecated. So this means, let me just try if I can just replace this. Solutions. I don't want to get it wrong another times. All right, here we go. Yes, do this. So what's your problem? Maybe I think I need to run this again. Yeah, I was really wondering why we don't have anything yet. So maybe we need to do this. Maybe we can do another PR in the next live stream or something like this, because yeah, I think that's pretty handy, and I think a lot of people would use it. Okay, the test class name not matching file name is deprecated. So let me check this. Class name solution test, expected code snippet solution test. Let me see. Why is this complaining here? Or maybe, yeah, because of the file. Okay, now this is strange. Yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. I thought it had to do with the move, but this was just a test, and of course it has to be the same name. Okay, let's rerun them. Okay, let's also maybe just replace where we have this been using. As you can see a few times, so we're going to replace this with solutions. Here we go. Okay, this looks better now. Cannot use app as solution because the name is already in use. Page code snippet test. Okay. So one more failing. Model solution. Okay, what's the name of our refactory? Yeah, okay, so one more thing here to change. Yeah, if I knew if this would take so long, I probably would have done it before. So you didn't have to watch me changing all this, but yeah, that's just real work. So I think it's always nice to keep things real, and that's something we have to do. So it's nice. So I can also show this what we actually have to do. Okay, so this means this is now working. Yeah, let's just also try it out now in the browser. Okay, now that I changed the browser. Let's see if we can still log in. Password. Okay, let's migrate then and create a new user. I don't hear any music, so music. And here we go. let's get back here. So okay, we need a longer password. Here we go. Let's create a new snippet. It's always our super example here. Okay, here we go. Let's create a solution. Okay, this seems all to be working again. Good, so let's move on. What else do we want to do? Go back to our to-do. Are you ready here? I think Adrian also mentioned something where we could refactor a test. Adrian, do you remember what that was? Maybe we can quickly check this as well. So there's was one thing that Adrian mentioned to me where we could maybe improve one of our LiveWire tests. Okay, it's fine. So we just keep going. Okay, but now, yeah, highlighting the code. We want to highlight the code that of our code examples here. For the code examples and for the solutions, of course. So I think that's very important. And I think about a week ago, Adrian also showed me that you can, I hope it's okay if I show this, Adrian, I'm not sure. I hope you don't hate me now. But he showed me an example of how we can use code highlighting with just some simple plain PHP code itself. And I just wanted to give this a try. Of course, there are a lot of packages you can use and more complicated things, but I think it was a nice idea to just try this out ourselves. So, so here we're setting some colors. Then we're using the string helper. We're exploding it by some line breaks, filtering over them. Okay, I think we'll just give it a try to see what it actually does. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one. And let's think about how we could use this in our examples. So where do we get our code snippet? Let's start with the code snippet page itself. We have it here on the pages. So that's the sample page for the code snippet, and we're just passing in here the content of it. So what we can do is, so maybe let's just try it out in the controller. Or maybe let me think about if I want to test this. If I want to test that it's being highlighted, actually, I don't think I want to right now. I don't think that's important. So let's go to our code snippet controller. Here we go. So here we're getting our code snippet. We're loading the solution. And let's just try to paste this in here and start from there. So I think we're missing here one of those. Just check again. So this was correct. What did I just copy? I was just missing this. Okay. Paste this in here. And we need the string helper. Okay. Let's import it. We have this code. So I think we're just passing in here a string of code. Something like this. So now this is the code that we're working with. And here we are already returning it. Okay. Unused private method. Okay, that's fine. We're going to return a string. And now let's just save it. So code snippet content equals to format code snippet content. Okay, and let's just see what it does. Undefined property highlight. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, we have this highlight. When this highlight is not null, what we're doing here, we have a short function string replace matches this highlight. Okay, I think it's probably about if we want to highlight something. So I think I'm getting rid of this here. Yeah, of this whole method. Too much. So where does this end here? Also, that's inside of it. Okay, so we're going to match the replaces. Let me try to see what we do here. Replace matches. Oh no, it's just a format problem. Okay. I would have to switch to the browser like this, now that I'm using the same for StreamYard on my other. Okay, so we're getting something back, but now we have to make sure that we don't escape all those HTML tags. So yes, now with some little bit of luck, we should see some highlighted code. Oh, yeah, we do. That's nice. Let me just check the comments in the meantime. Yeah, so Adrian said it's a less known PHP internal function, the highlight string. So let's check again where we've been using this. Highlight string. So it seems we have to provide the opening tag for PHP, because if I remember correctly, we don't see this here yet. So we probably have to do this so that this method knows that we started some PHP code probably. How did it require? Okay, yeah, it's overwritten here. Requires opening tag, or otherwise it will not colorize the text. Okay, that's nice. Any more comments here? This code will be content. Okay, that's what we changed. This highlight will be a string. Okay, let's maybe try this out as well. So let's bring back here this when method, and let's call it highlight. And let's provide it here as a second argument. Highlight. And let's make this optional. Let's make sure that it's working without passing anything. Nope, it's not. Let me see. Okay. Do you hear me now? Okay, that's interesting. So if you don't see me, this means you also can't hear me. Oh, okay, thanks, guys. Sorry for that. So I have to think about a better solution using two browsers and not Firefox. So maybe I go with Brave and Chrome the next time. Okay, thanks, Miroslav. Nice to see you here around as well. So let's see. We're still trying to see why he's complaining because, okay, we need to import the stringable type. And here also change it to highlight. Thanks, Adrian, for mentioning that. Let's try it again. Okay, so this means now since we've provided test is being highlighted. Okay, this doesn't look too bad. So thanks for sharing this, Adrian. I think that's just a good example to start with. Now let's also try to, without any highlight, what it does do then. Here we go. What's happening now? So we haven't, okay, I think that's probably not a problem because I'm providing here an empty stringable. So let me check what the, okay, yeah, so maybe we can set default to null. Then I also don't have to do this. And I think now it should work. Okay, so this means if I'm in the wrong browser, if I refresh, you're going to lose me. So I'm sorry for that. Let's just fix this now by using, I don't even have Chrome installed. Let's try Safari. Since it's a new Mac, I don't have all the browsers installed yet. But here we go. Let's also take this one, and now, yeah, we shouldn't run into this error again. So sorry about that. I'm going to make this bigger for you. Here we have this up if we need it again. Okay, so that's not too bad. We have some highlighted code. And yeah, sorry guys that you lost me again. That's a good note for my list, which I have to prepare for my stream to make sure I use 2 different browsers, and neither of these are Firefox. So so 2 things that I'm thinking about currently. First, I want to test how this code highlighting looks like with some more code. So maybe let's take something from the level documentation. What do we have? Maybe from the Artisan console. Okay, you can't see this one, but I'm now taking a whole example here. Okay, let's create now a new snippet. Not now. So as you can see, I'm now passing in here a whole PHP class. And let's check this. Okay, yeah, a lot of light colors. I think it's not too bad. If you would give it some background and then start it around, I think it wouldn't be too bad, but yeah, actually it's pretty good. I think if we started all the things around, it would look pretty nice just for, yeah, the little amount of code that we needed and without any other package. So I think I'll keep it like that. Yeah. So again, I'm in the browser that I not use all the time. I think I have to add here some developer tools or something to show the code, right? Safari. Do you know where I can do this in Safari? I remember there was something like, checklist. Okay, I can't find it right now. So I remember there was something like enabling developer stuff, and then you would see more of the code and all the features for debugging. And we have use of Google. Developer menu provides tools. If you don't see developer advanced, then show develop menu and menu bar. I think I have already checked this. Safari preferences advanced. Show full website, press tab. No, I think there is no inspect on a right click like you have. Oh, here we are. Classic one that I didn't see is this. Yeah, so here we go. And let's try to give our snippet background. So Adrian already provided the color. Let's try this out. Yeah, not so bad. I think in the next stream we probably do this and work a little bit more of the design, but it actually looks pretty good. So yeah, thanks Adrian for sharing this. That's really nice. Okay, so the next thing what I want to do, we have this now inside our controller, and of course we don't want it to be there. So I think this is also what we're going to tackle. So first I'm thinking about, there will probably be some other places where I need to use it. So this is not a snippet controller, but also we want to have the same here, and then maybe have the same here for the solution. So there will be a few places where I need this. So we're probably going to create a class for this. So, and since we are creating a class, I also have to think about if we're not going to start writing a test first. So yeah, so that's one of the cases where I'm not sure how best to do this. So let's imagine how we would implement this. So probably we'll have a class like code highlighter, and then somewhere we're going to inject it. So maybe in this controller, maybe we're going to inject this like code highlighter, and we would probably just use it like highlighter and then highlight or something like this. So this would be one possibility to use it. Let me think about how else we could do this. Of course, I don't want to highlight this inside my plate file, so that's not what I want to do. Probably I could use an accessor to override the content to automatically be highlighted code. So yeah, what I don't like about this is that, yeah, it's not so obvious to people who, or for any developers who just use here the content property and then already get highlighted code. So probably could make a dynamic accessor for highlighted code and get it like this. Yeah, I think that's one way that I would go, because if I then have a new method on the model, I can test the model to see that I get highlighted code. So Adrian is using a blade component. Okay, that's also interesting. Let me think about this. So this means inside my code snippet, I probably would use a component like highlight, and then code would be dollar code snippet content. Okay, I think this would probably be a good solution, because then the component we can use it somewhere else. And I also think it's a good use case for a component. What did Felix say? Saving the highlighted code will be hard for editing later. Yeah, so that's also one reason why saving this doesn't make sense. You're right. Okay, so yeah, let's make a component. That's nice, because I like it if we can then test just a component. Okay, let's get back to our controller. Let's get rid of this. This whole method that we've been using. And let's also delete this here. And let's just check what we changed. Yeah, so we don't need those here. And what else did we change? I just want to make sure what we did here before we make a new commit. Okay, this looks good. Yeah, these are the files that we changed. Yeah, okay. So refactoring solution name. Okay, now we have a good base to start. And again, we make sure that our tests are passing before we start writing a new one. Okay, there's one failing. Let me see if I forgot something. We don't see this test here in... Oh yeah, that's probably because I forgot to... It's back. Nope. No, this looks correct. Let's check again. Is this the one what we're not seeing? I think so. So it's this test here, right? Yeah. So what? Okay, that's a problem we already had. Good point, Felix. Yeah. We forgot to change this back here. Thanks. That's of course true. And that's why I'm again really glad we have some tests, because that's something you can easily forget, and there are a lot of those things, and this way you can run in a lot of errors. So again, showing code snippet. Okay, here we go. Now we have a test, and now we have our new base for this new test. So we said that we're going to make a new component for our highlighted code. So this means let's start by writing a test to make sure that we see this component. Where do I want to do this? We have our pages. We have our code snippet and the home. Let's start with this one. course, we have a page home test. And here we are already checking it includes a LiveWire component. So that's how we can check if there's a LiveWire component. And yeah, there's not a good way yet to check if there is a Laravel blade component. So I'm not sure if we've done this in this project. Let me just try to check in our test if we already did. This called. Yeah, so here we are actually testing our layout component, and then we're making making use of our new assertions. And oh yeah, so here we're checking the assert C then on the view object here. So I think that's also something we can do. Let me think about this. I'm not sure if the view we are checking here is already compiled. I think it probably is. So this means I think there's no way. So yeah, the way that I would like it to test, let me just try to show it to you so that we can start by thinking about how we want it to be. So it includes, how do we call it? Highlight components. To return anything. So how I would like to do this is something like this: get to the home page. Yeah, then similar like this, I would like to see insert C component highlight, something like this. But of course, this is not working. So I think there's no current way we can do this, because the moment we already get our site back here, of course, there's no component code inside anymore. So let me check what this looks like here. I think it's also already compiled, but to be honest, I don't know. Okay, here we're checking not the page, we're checking the component itself. So, so that's also not what I want to do. Do you guys have any idea how we can do this? So my goal is to make sure that the highlight component is used. Because how else do we know if the code is highlighted? Of course, yeah, you can probably check the HTML. So if we go to our test snippet here, okay, right now it's not highlighted anymore, but of course the highlighting added some span tags around these different string parts, and maybe we could check those HTML. But I wonder if there's any better way to do this. And then let's check again how we are using this here on our homepage. Yes, actually here on the homepage we have the LiveWire component. So let's go back to our LiveWire component. Yes, that's on our homepage how we are looping over all the snippets and then showing the code snippet. So yes, what we could do is here, if we replace this now with a component here, we can just make sure that we see the things that we pass. I think this would also work. Let me think about how this would be like. So So we already have a test here. It shows we test here. We don't. Okay, we don't test here that we see the snippet because this is inside our component, our LiveWire component. So this means let's go back to our home page. We have here the code snippets component. And inside here, we're showing the code snippet. So this means our LiveWire test for the code snippet. So that's this one here. Here at some point, we making sure it shows the given snippet. Yeah. So how do we do this? Okay, we make an assertion that we see those things. And I think this actually could stay the same because if we now get rid of how this is currently done, so let's say this part here will be our code snippet. So if we get rid of this and run this test, it should fail, of course, because we don't see this yet. Okay, so this means actually we already have a test in place that we can use. Yeah, I think that's how I want to do this. And now I want to make a new component and we want to make this task pass again, because if we're using the component, we're first making sure that we see the content. And then we can also think about if we want to make sure that the text is highlighted. But most important is that we see the content of our code snippet. So this means we need a new Laravel component. It's artisan make component. How do we call it? What is a good name? Highlighter. Highlight code. I think something like this. Highlight code. Okay, good. Then inside here, want to use our new components and it will be self-closing. And now think about what we need. We want to pass in here the code snippet. Or maybe it's just the content. Let's just call it code. Let's stay with content. That's the one we've been using. So content will be our code snippet. And then we pass in here the content. So I think this is how this is going to work. And then inside the class, let's get rid of this. We're going to pass in here string, which will be our content. Since we're already using PHP 8, so I've never done this, but I think it would be, is it just like this, private string here? We can get rid of this. Let me check what PHP version we're currently using. Okay, let's use PHP 8 here. And okay, yeah, now we don't have to set this anymore. Is it right? But how do I use it then? No. Let me check this again. I'm not sure currently. So what is it called? PHP attribute promotion. PHP 8. Attribute promotion. Constructor property promotion. Okay. So it's okay, yeah. Okay, like Adrian said, it's an empty method. So PHP Storm was correct here. I was just confused to see the empty property. And yeah, it's funny now that I think about it. If we now end up with just an empty property, like this here, but wouldn't then be a syntax different be much better? Yeah, maybe I'm going to use them in the property itself, but we don't need to. Okay, maybe that's something for a different discussion for a different day. So what we're going to return here, I think, should be view object. Is it an illuminate view object? Contracts view or view factory. Okay. And okay, I think that's the correct one. Okay, so we now have here our content. So this means what we can do now. Okay, first we want to make sure that we see the data. So yeah, let's just see what our test is saying now. Okay, failed asserting. We don't see this yet. Okay, let's check our template now. So highlight code. Okay, this is now empty. So I hope here we go. So what are we doing here? We're passing in now our content. That's what it's called now. And let's check again. Undefined variable content. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to our component class. Oh yeah, we need to make this a public one. Sure about that. Okay, now our tests are passing. So yeah, Adrian wants to join the session. Yeah, maybe the next time, Adrian. Thanks for being helpful as always. It already feels a little bit like pair programming, but the others, of course, are helping as well. So yeah, I really didn't know if I would enjoy live coding because yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on you making mistake and not knowing a lot of things. But yeah, it turns out I really enjoy this coding together with other people because yeah, I'm coding alone and I don't have anyone to do pair programming, and this feels just a little bit like it. So yeah, I'm already very thankful for this. Yeah, Adrian is only the loudest one. Yeah, that's true for sure. Everybody's helpful, but Adrian is the loudest one. I think we can agree on this. Okay, so we've now made sure that we see our code snippet again. And let's go to our component here again. So here we are showing the code snippet. And of course, now in our component, we can use a method to highlight it. I'm now just thinking if I want to test this somehow. So let's think about this. So probably what I could do here is maybe like in the constructor, you see something like content equals to highlight the content, something like this, and then we have a method for this. That's how we get back the highlighted code. So would there be a good way if I can test this I'm thinking about a way to test this without checking the HTML. So I'm currently not sure if there is a good one. So let me just check the guest test again. By the way, why is this comment out? That's a good point. It shows given code snippets. So we have one code snippet, two snippet. We're testing both of them. I don't think why we would need this. It looks pretty much the same. I say we can get rid of this. So since we're testing here the LiveWire component, is there anything else? Yeah, I could. So that's the other thing that I mentioned. I probably could check that I see some specific HTML. So is this the only way? I think currently that's the only way that I can think of. So assert that we see something like, I don't know how it looks like, but maybe it will look something like this. We have a class here. Yeah, I think that's the only way we can test right now, that it's also highlighted. And I think I'm also fine with this. So let's see, since we don't know how this will look like, I think I will just leave it like this. And of course it should fill now. Yeah, of course, because we are calling this highlight method that does not exist. So let's just try to work on this now. Okay, so how do I want to do this? This highlight method, let me see. Can I get in here, like say a new class that I'm going to create, like this one? And we call this highlighter. Then we're calling here highlighter, highlight, and then the content. So this is something that I provide to the component itself, and I'm not thinking about if I can just use dependency injection here to get a class. Not sure if you notice, let me know, because then I think I would create a new class called highlighter where we have the highlight functionality and then bring it in here, and then we're changing the content. I think that's how I would do this. Let me know if you would do it differently. But in the meantime, I'm just going to start. And let's just run the test again and see what it says to us now. So we'll probably complain about the dependency. Highlighter does not exist. Okay. So how we're doing this, let's say we create a new directory here, app, call it support. Yeah, since I don't know already if I have multiple classes, I'm just going for a general one like support. And we're creating a new PHP class called highlighter. Don't ask again. And here, what we will have here is we have a public function called highlight. We're passing in some string here. And also, like before, optional, like string to highlight. I don't like that I use highlight here again. Let me check my dictionary if there is a better word in English. Emphasize. So we're using the highlighter and we're going to emphasize. Yeah, I think I like that. So what are we going to return here? I think it will be just a string. And then what we want to do here is return. Let's just bring in here the code that we copied before. Find this. Okay, let's import the class. Checking the comments. So what do we have here? Or just make the highlighting a protected class in the component. A protected class inside the component? I think you mean a protected method inside the component. Yeah, we could use this as well. Let me think, what benefit will we have? We don't need another class. It's coupled to the component. I think I like it. Yeah, let's try this one. Let's get rid of this class since we can bundle it together with our component. And let's bring in here our method. This one, we need the stringable type. We need the string helper. Let's rename this to content here as well. No, I'm going with, leave it with code. And then we can also leave, but this I want to change now. Emphasize. All right. And this means now we can use here format the code and contents, and we don't need this here. And yeah, I wonder if I ever need it like this, or if it works like this, since that we're using PHP 8 properties. Yeah, let's run the test. And see what we are getting here. Okay. This is what we're not finding, and let's see what we get here. Let me check this one in the browser. I think we were on the home page. Nope. Where did we just implement this? Inside code snippets, we're using the highlight code component, and the code snippets is used on the home page, right? Yeah. This means here we should see something, but we didn't do yet. So let me dump this out. So let's go to our component here, and let's just check what we get here, what's happening here. I think we probably, I'm not sure if we're really changing here the content. Yeah, so this is how it should look like. Okay, so this means this is working, but it seems we're not getting this yet. So I wonder if we need to pass this to the component now again, because by default, we can use public properties. Let me try this now. If I'm now going to dump this out, what does this do? Get rid of this dump here again. And let's see. Okay, so this means, yeah, okay, I think it's just because I haven't done this. So that's the problem here. Yeah, okay, that's good. So this is why it's not working. Let me just check some more comments here. So Adrian and Felix said, yeah, so Felix already got the issue. Thanks, I didn't see it. What did Adrian say? Okay, why do you want to pass it to the view again, if we can already do this by using the property itself if we change it? Let me know about that. I'm not sure if this then would be better. Okay, so let's also check this here. Okay, right, so we're still escaping everything, so we need to change this here. Yeah, so this here is now working. Our test is probably still failing because we haven't decided yet what we want to check for the HTML in terms of styling. So Adrian said, keep the original. I'm not sure what you mean. You maybe mean I should keep it like I just did it. I'm not sure. And yeah, so what is there a good way to check if our code snippet was styled? So I think probably this style and this color will be different for every code snippet. So it will be really difficult to find a general thing that we can test. So what can we do here is can probably check if we see a span. I have some more comments here. So inside the component blade, you can add some more stuff. Inside the component blade. Here I can add some more stuff. So I think you probably mean I can add some more HTML tags or something. But is this worth a test to make sure that it's highlighted? I'm not even sure if we can write a good test for this. And he also said something about his chest. So let's check this again. You maybe were referring to the styles. Inside the component blade stuff, you can add some more stuff from my chest. Okay, so I'm not sure what you mean. I can add those styles, of course, but does this help me so I can test this? And that's what we already have. So Adrian now refers to snapshot testing. Okay, I know there's a Spathy package for snapshot testing, I think. If there's a look. Unit snapshots testing with PHP unit. So what I know and what I remember with snapshot testing, we can make sure that some data stays the same. So let me think about how we could do this here. How snapshot testing could help us with our example. So this means we could, yes, I think what you mean is we can generate the output once and then copy this and then make sure that every time it stays the same. So this means for our example here, I think we can probably do this. And for our example here, I could probably just copy this whole span here. And inside our test, let's make sure we see this whole thing. And we probably run into some errors because of those quotes. Not sure if I can. Like this. So why do we have this? So this gets encoded again. So I can't do it like this because this would fail. So this means I'm wondering why it's not working with escaping the apostrophe, or are the apostrophe things that? Oh yeah, I think, okay, I see. I think it's because we copied it with these. I think that's the problem here. Okay, but okay, that's not the one that's failing. So the one that's failing is this one here. Yeah, because we're not seeing this one now since it's highlighted. Yeah, okay, I think I now got it. So that must be the problem. So the one I copied now, let me just try to see if I get rid of this. This is working now. Yeah, okay, so this is working. So this means if we want to test out to see our snippets now, since we're using highlighting, we want to test it like this. Of course, a problem to this approach is that every time, we change some styles for our code snippets and how it's going to be highlighted, this will change. But I think for now, I'm fine with this. And let's also make sure that we see the second one. And I think we can also copy this. I'm not sure what the content looked like. Test 2. So this means it should work like this, I think. Okay. Now we also have those nice colors inside our IDE. Okay, so I think that's also, probably a kind of snapshot testing. So we're testing the actual content and to make sure that's every time the same. And every time we change something, it will fail. And since we're also running, since we're always running all those tests, we will see this if anything changed. So I think I'm pretty fine with this because, yeah, this way we made sure that our style is highlighted. It's a little bit specific, but I don't think there's any better way. And we've also tested this now inside our component. Yeah, so that's one thing I'm thinking about right now. Is if this should be inside the other component. So we are here inside our code snippets test, and actually the component, the highlight component, is responsible for testing that something is highlighted. Yeah, so I think it would be much better if we wrote a test for the component itself. And I think we can do this similar to our layout component test, where we're making use of this component helper to load a component and then check if we see something. Do we have an HTML method here as well? Let me see what we get back here. A test view. Getting back here a test view, and here we have some assertions, but we don't have one for HTML. So I think this could be a problem because, of course, we can only test our highlighted code through HTML. I'm wondering why there is no HTML method for the view. I think actually I'd like to see what this looks like. So let's go to one of those methods here. Like this one. So what we're doing here, we are calling this rendered. Okay. Is this the one we're using here? Yeah. Okay, so what do we get back here? No, I'm not allowed to do this here. Now let's run this method. Okay, we're actually getting back the whole HTML file. So I think if we assert to see something like HTML, it probably should work too, shouldn't it? Just try it out. And let's take something here from that's this one, for example. Okay, let's see. Is it going to escape it again? Yeah, okay. So that's a problem. So we have some new comments. Let me just check. You would need to pass the 3 parameters. Yeah, okay. So I think we've done this before. So this was, okay, escape, false. Oh yeah, correct. Thanks, Gertchen. Correct. That's how we can do this. Okay, so I think I'm going to change our test now to bring this into the component test itself. So let's see where we have our layout component test. Where do we have it inside our feature test? Okay, let's use the code generator again to create a new feature test. And let's call it highlight code component test. And what do we want to test? It highlights. Yeah, probably as easy as this. Let's get rid of those windows here so that we have more place. And let's just test here. So no, we're not using the layout component now. We're using the highlight code component. Now we don't need to pass in the slot file, and now we want to make sure that we see something. So, oh yeah, we still have to pass in some data because we need to pass in some content. Was it content or code? Yeah, it was content. And let's just say it's our super example here again. Test equals to test. I want to make sure we see, and let's copy this from our code snippet test now. I think it should, yeah, this one here. Here we go. Now we need the second parameter, set to false. I think it should be like this. Okay, that's good. Let's just change something just to make sure we are good. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so this means, let me check if I want to change anything here. We are passing in our snippet and just making sure it gets highlighted. Okay, I'm fine with this. Let's go to our other test now. So I want to get rid of this again. So this means we're just making sure we see the name of our snippets here. Do I want to test anything else here so that we see the actual code? Actually, I think here it would be nice to make sure that we see our component is in here, because what I'm thinking about right now is if I keep it like this, we're just making sure we see our names of the snippets. And then we have to test for a highlighter to make sure that a test gets highlighted, but we're missing a test that we have this component here. So that's why I like this livewire assert that we see a livewire component on a page. And actually what I want to do is now I want to assert, what would this be like? Assert component given, we would call it highlight code class, something like this. Let me see if you already had some ideas. So but maybe don't waste too much time, because later on you will probably add a code editor and we'll chop how we highlight now. Yeah, that's of course a good point, because yeah, things will change a lot, and when you do TDD and you write a lot of tests, of course you have to change those tests as well. And if the whole implementation changes, the test will change a lot as well. So that's also something that's sometimes pretty annoying with having a lot of tests. And that's also why a lot of people like to write the code first, and then maybe you're writing the code and you're changing how you implement it while you code it 1, 2, or 3 times, and then you're writing the tests afterward. And I totally get why this is also a nice idea. So yeah, for now, I don't care about this because, yeah, for me, it's not about the perfect implementation. I want to find good ways to test things that we currently have. And for me, this helps me a lot right now, improving my testing skills, trying to see how we can test something and then that I can use maybe in other projects. So I'm not too picky about this right now. What did Gertchen says? Yeah, it was the second parameter, not the third one. Yeah, Adrian said that we could here check if we see just a part of our code snippet and not the whole snippet itself. So this would work. So what would this look like? So it would be something like assert C and then just the name of our snippet. Yeah, just I think probably test2 should work. Comment this out. And also test1, something like this. We don't have test1, just test. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a nice addition. And then what else? You could also check to see the code, but just use the highlighter for the markup. Let me think about this. You can also check to see the code. So this means that I see the code for, okay, yeah, I mean like our template. So where do we have our highlighted code? So I could check if I see like, yeah, something like this. So maybe a pre with an ID of highlight or something like this. And then I could check to see that I could make sure that the component is on the page. Let me think about this one. And let me see, or use a verbose verb per snippet. What do you mean by this? Because test will match also for test2. Oh yeah, that's correct. So if I use test1 and test2 like this, it would be better. I think, yeah. So let's get rid of this. Let me think again. Code snippet content. This would be good enough. What do you mean by that? Where would I use this? So in the meantime, maybe add the raw content to the blade as a hidden thing for SEO. Maybe add the raw content. So you mean like the raw content of the snippet to blade as a hidden thing for SEO? Nope, not sure what you mean. Maybe you can help me with that. Then you can assert to see the raw code too. Okay, I think I know what you mean. You mean like, let's go to, like if I have a comment here with the raw test snippet like this, so and then I can test if I see just this plain code snippet without it being highlighted. And this could be helpful for search engine optimization. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it will only help if people were searching for the code itself. Not sure if it would be an advantage somehow else. And then the good enough part was for your current implementation. Okay, so I mean that my implementation is good enough. And yeah, so I think you mean it like this. Yeah, I'm still not sure why this would be helpful for search engine optimization, but of course it would be helpful for testing. But I don't see currently an advantage of this. Maybe you can change your mind on the way. But for now, let us think about this again. If I want to make sure then that a component is given. So yeah, as we mentioned before, we have no way to check if we see like a component name, like something like we have no way of checking this because yeah, it's already compiled when we make an assertion here inside LiveWire. So this is the only way we can check it if we maybe add some ID or add some HTML. So I don't think there's any other way right now to do this. So let's check our snippet again. What would be a good thing to check? So we have two different highlight components that we add. So it's the way that we can provide it a unique ID. I think what I could do is probably thinking about when I'm looping over the snippets and then using the key maybe for an ID so that we get ID 1, 2, so that I could check here for HTML for ID 1 and ID 2. But I also don't like that very much. Is there no better way we can do this? So we have some code here. Yeah, so we could check the blade file that we see something. Let me think about this. So we are inside our code snippet LiveWire component test, and we're testing this component. Let me try it out and see how it feels. So sometimes I have to write both things and then see how this feels to me. So file get content. Where do we have this? We have this in our resources. So I think this resource path, views. Okay, so what's the name here? Code Code snippets, I think that's the one. Can I surround this? Let me check. Yep, that's exactly what I want to do. So this would work, and then we could do something like save this like view, insert, what's the name in PHP unit? Assert contains. I think probably. So we're looking for X highlight code. I'm looking for inside our component view. And let me check where he's complaining. Okay, this means we could get false back here from file get contents. I think that's what he's complaining about. Must be of. What do we get back here again? String. It is just a string. So what's the problem then? Unreachable. Yeah, okay, this is because I'm here. Check again if I have the autocorrect. So we have the needle, then we have the haystack, and why? Oh, it contains about a. Okay, iteral is an array. Okay. I see that that's not the one that I should actually use. Thanks, guys. You already noticed first. Third string contains string. That's a strange method, but I think that's what we want to do. So X highlight code. Okay, it works like this. So let me think how I like this. So it's actually the thing that I want to test. So this way I'm making sure this component, or at least, yeah, some part of the component is in the file. So probably I'm sure it gets also rendered. Okay, let me see. So if I want, let me see if we can create a nice method for this, and then I will rethink this again. So this is our component, yeah. Okay, let's copy this and let's just give this method a try. What is he complaining about? Okay, I see. So we already have our custom livewire assertion. So we can just edit here. And what are we passing in here? A string. Component class. component class. Let's see if this works. It too few arguments passed. Oh, I think yeah, of course I have to use this not here because we're returning here callable. So and unit third true true. And yeah, I think that was missing here. Okay, so it should work like this. Do you have any news on your side? Yeah, so that's what I'm also thinking about. Or when making a new object of it, then call the render method. So like this. Okay, our component class, what do we need to provide? We need to provide a thing that's interesting. I've never created it like this before. Do I need to provide an array with? I think it should just be the content. Yes. Okay, so we get this back. Now let's check again our added component. So we are extending a base component. Let's see what we have here. So you are referring to the render method, which gives us back the view. What we want to do? Yeah, I think so. So that's the thing we want to test. And our component view is this, and then we call the render method. And then we can get rid of this here. Let me check. Without checking your comments, let me just think if this could work. I think it actually could. Damn it. Unknown variable content. What are you guys saying? So Adrian is saying you can use livewire dot component get name. Livewire. Or I think you would refer to this file get content, and this way we can get the path. No, I'm not sure what does this give me. This livewire is text, and then we get here the name of the component and drop the render in your component. So you mean dropping this here? That's what the path will be to the view. Okay, so what do you mean is a different way to get the path for file get content? Okay, but before this, let me also check what Gertchen was saying about the render method. But this one is for plate components, right? I don't think you would need to pass anything to the constructor. So where do we get this? Inside our highlight code component, I have undefined variable content. So it seems this is not being set. So we have here the class from the component, and we're creating a new one. Okay, I'm actually not sure. You're getting a view class back from the render method, but I think that class has some info of which file it's loading. Okay, let's check again what we get back here. I just thought it was just some string. Is it a okay, we get a view. Okay. And you thought this view file maybe has some information about where it lies. So let's check this class. Illuminate view. That's the one. Okay. What do we have here? Window with nest name. Get name, get data. What do we get back here? Let's begin with get name. Components highlight code. Okay, so this means here, let's check our views, components, highlight code. Okay, so this is a kind of path with a dot syntax to our template. So I'm wondering if it makes sense to create a new component only to get the path and then use file get to get that again. No, but let me check again. But there must be a render method on the view itself, and then okay, but we don't want it to be rendered. That's the case. Get anything get path. Here we go. Highlight. Okay, that's the path. Okay, let's see. Component view path. That's what we get here. And then can get rid of this. And here we still need file get content and then component view path. Okay, so that's the wrong component. Okay, so that's wrong. So insert that the component was given in. We want to make sure it's given inside this component. Okay. All right, so we want to make sure. So let me check this again. So how do we last render DOM? What is this? So we want to have access. So to let you know what's in my head right now. So we're testing here LiveWire component, this component, the code snippets component. And inside this component, we want to load this view file and make sure it has the code snippet for this one. So this means actually what we would need from our highlight code class to be able to get the tag, which would be X highlight code. So since we know this name, we can probably create it ourselves. But the other thing is we also need to make sure that we check inside this view file. Inside this view file. Yeah. So this means inside this method, we need to make sure we also have access to this. And that's why I was checking here how this assert C method is working. And we're making use of this last render DOM here. Or strip output. Let's copy this whole thing and let's dump this out inside our custom view. Yeah, so here. Okay, let's see, what do we get here? Yeah, so that's our rendered component file. Okay, let me check the time. Okay, we are, wow, already more than 2 hours. That's why I'm already feeling so exhausted. And my brain, I noticed it the last time too. So after 90 minutes, my brain gets a little bit slow and it's hard for me to, grasp those things. So that's why I wanted to keep it just with 90 minutes. But again, we had a lot to talk and a lot to do. So that's why I still like it. Let me just see your comments in the meantime. You would need to change it to assert HTML string. Okay, here's what you need to do. File get content livewire.thisGetName. Okay, let me get back here to our test, and I really want to make this work before we stop our session here. And let's sum up again what I want to do. I'm already confused by myself. So we are here inside our code snippet test. So this means we want to test the code snippet livewire component. We make assertions to see the content. And now we want to make sure that the view file, the blade file to this component has this in it. Highlight code. So this way we make sure that the component, that the Laravel highlight component is inside the livewire component. So this means we need to load the code snippet view file. So that's what we want to do. We want to get the raw view file before it's being rendered. So we are passing in here this class here, but actually for now, let's just pass this here in because that's what we are looking for. Assert component given, and that's the component given. Of course, it will be nicer with the class, but let's start with this again. So we're providing this string here to our method. And then here, let's change this for now for component needle. So this is what we're looking for. Now we want to get the view file. So let's see what Adrian said. File get content, and then LiveWire. I'm still not sure about this LiveWire string, what this does. Because does this give us any path? And this get name here inside. Let's see. It wouldn't be the first time that I don't know what Adrian is saying, but it still is working. So does this work? I have no idea. Okay, the get name method does not exist here. So maybe you were referring to something else. So maybe let's just try by dumping out this. So here we have table testing, LiveWire testing, what is it called? Testable LiveWire. Okay, so from here we have no idea about what component we were talking here. So the moment we get into this method here, no, we are still inside this test for this component. So we still must have access to what we are testing here. So let me check the testable LiveWire. What does this look like? Do we have something? Component name. Okay. Component name. No, it's not working. Component. Oh, it's a property. That's not a method. Okay. Okay, this didn't help now. Let's check again how far you are in the meantime. You would need to call it statically. I'm not sure what you mean. This last rendered view. Okay, last rendered view. Let's start by seeing what's this. Last rendered view. Okay, let's check again. Is this? Okay, that's a property again. Okay. Get path. Okay, this looks good now. Yeah, now we have this. Oh my God. So again, we are getting the last rendered view here from this property of this testable livewire class, and then we get the path on this view to get the path on the view we're actually looking for. So this means, again, now this is our components view. Just want to make sure because these are different views. Component needle, components view. Okay, but let's keep it like this. So this means now let's just copy this here. Now we should make this test path. Yeah, guys, finally we did it. Thank you so much. Okay, I have to do a screenshot about this. Yeah, it's much deeper for me too into LiveWire than I've ever been. So that's a lot of fun, guys. I really like this. So let me just think about the name now. So yeah, just let us try this as well. So I want to assert that a specific component is given, and I always want to use the dynamic class call if I can. So this means what is changing here? We're now getting the component class. And maybe let's rename this to haystack view. Does this make sense? That's the needle component and that's the haystack component. Yeah, maybe it's not the best, but okay. So how do we get this now? Components. Is there a way to get the class name? So we're getting the class name here, but we're getting the full class name here. Let's see what we have here. Oh, Getchen has also a new. We're making a new one of this and then get component name. And we need to wrap this. I'm just wondering if we need to provide here again our content to make this work. Yeah, so I'm not sure if we can solve this like this. Oh, it's not a method, it's a property. Okay, thanks. And that's null. Why is this null? Let's check again. So we're talking here about Laravel component. Yeah, so that's the highlight code component. So this is the one. So that's the base component that we are extending. And let's check again. Component name. Okay, this is given, but why is this null? Did I mess this up somehow? Oh yeah, no. We're getting a new class here and then call the component name property. So, Could it be null because any intern settings, maybe any intern methods weren't run yet? Okay, maybe you have an idea. I try something else in the meantime. So let's try to use our string helper here. So we have our component needle class. Let's dump this out again let's see what this looks like. And I'm copying here so that I see it now. So is there something like base name? Yeah, okay. That's the base name. I thought I would only get this one here with base name. Okay. Okay, so we're resolving it from the container. Okay, let's try this out. So resolve this class and then to get back here. So we should okay, can I pass in here some parameters? So I think maybe I need to pass this in here. All right. Okay, so we're getting here the component, and I think what you saw that I now can remind me later, please. The name. No, so let me try again. What do we get here? It's getting already pretty dark. So we get okay, we get our highlight component here. Okay, so that's how we can create it without the problem. But the last time we tried to use get name and it was null. Let me get back here. Oh, it was component name. Okay, that was a problem. Component name. Component name. Nope, still no. Okay, that's interesting. I have no idea why it is set to null. I will try to move on with my other way. Maybe you have an idea in the meantime. So, still wondering. Let me check this. Give me just okay, maybe that's different with a okay, it's probably only for a path and not for a namespace. So what else can we do? Class base name. Okay. This looks nice. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So we're getting closer. Now we want to. We have something like snake. Okay. Actually, it's not snake. What is it called with a hyphen? Yeah, okay. People were just saying we stay with my string approach. So instead of this underscore, we want a hyphen. Let's for now replace it. Maybe you guys in the meantime know how we can, what's the name without this. Okay. Getting closer. Now, what else? We want to prepend x. Okay, I think that's what we want to look for. Call it component new. And here we go. Let's change this component new. And try it again. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I think I like this now much better by providing the component class. Okay, we probably spent way too much time for this test here, but I really liked how we dig into the core and see how we can use it and make this work. Adrian, in the meantime, said kebab was the name. So this means I wouldn't need this. Yeah, perfect. Even better. And cool. So let's just check if all tests are still working. Okay, perfect. So what did we do? What did we do today? So created highlight code component and test it. So I think that's the main thing that we did today. Thanks, Gertjan. Goodbye. Thanks a lot for being here. And also Adrian and all those others. So I really liked how we dig deep into Laravel components and Livewire components and came up with this custom solution. So again, we're testing here that our Livewire component has included a different component. And I like this because I want to test my components with a dedicated components test class. So I don't want to test here inside my code snippet that I see something that is inside my highlight component. So that's why I really like that we have a dedicated test for the highlight code, but making sure here that we see this component here. All right, so thanks a lot, guys. So I thought last time we had the longest stream, but it seems like we keep going and going, and we're now almost at over 2.5 hours. I really enjoyed it. I think next time we're going to take a look at designing those platform and implementing some design, give it some look, and let me check also the list. We can check this off here. And I also wanted to take a look at creating some kind of stars or vote where you can vote for specific solutions. And and I will also take a look at how we can format our code snippets. So let me remove this here. So thanks everybody again for watching. Time flies when we are coding. I really enjoyed today's session. As always, please let me know what you liked about the stream. If you didn't like the stream, I'm trying to improving my streaming skills, and I really like it to be helpful to you and to me in both ways. So please always provide me some feedback about how you liked it. So we will see us next week, probably on Monday. I will send out a new stream. So enjoy the weekend. Thanks everybody for watching, and see you the next time. Bye-bye.